What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to yet another episode of Combat Tips Season 3. As you guys can see today, our focus is Johnny Cage, so we're going to be doing his brutalities for today. If there are any particular ones you are here to see today, feel free to hop on down to either the comments or the description where you can find timestamps to help you skip right to the ones you're looking for. And please do keep in mind you have to have these unlocked before you can perform them. If there are any controls I say today that don't entirely make sense to you because you're using a different input method, feel free to use this little chart right here that I've thrown together. This should allow you all to convert the controls I say to any of the inputs that are currently out for Mortal Kombat 11. As usual, we'll be starting off on the cosmetics menu to show you guys that as of this video's current release, there are 19 finishers for Johnny Cage, and that means we'll be focusing on 9 different brutalities today. Once again, if there's any particular brutality you are here to learn, feel free to use the timestamps down below. Otherwise, we'll be starting off with the Classic. Alright folks, so here we are with the Classic, and as usual, there are a couple requirements in order to perform this properly. Now first up is you want to make sure you do not block an attack during the final round, and do keep in mind the final round is just the round you are going to win on, so that can be either round 2 or 3. Either one can be considered a final round so long as you are going to be the victorious player. Next up, do keep in mind it does strictly say to not block an attack, so if you do happen to hit the block button by accident, that's okay, but if you block an actual attack, then unfortunately you forfeit the opportunity to perform this brutality. Finally, you want to finish your opponent with an uppercut, which is usually going to be down triangle or down Y, and you want to make sure you hold the respective button that you use to perform that uppercut, which again would be either Y or triangle, depending on your respective controller. So let's go ahead and give you guys a quick example. Alright folks, so here we are on round 2, and just to show you real quick, there we go, a couple blocks, just to let you know that it is okay if you accidentally do hit the block button. Just make sure you don't block an actual attack. Should you do that, again, you forfeit the opportunity to do this particular brutality. Next up, a quick refresher of what an uppercut should look like, and you want to make sure you're doing a crouch right in front of your opponent, and you want to push either triangle or Y depending on your respective controller, and it should look something like this. Boom. So down Y or down triangle, and you should get that result. Alright everybody, here we are going in for our finishing hit. Just one more reminder that make sure you do not block an actual hit on the final round, and again, here we are, blocking. It's okay if you accidentally block, just don't block an attack. And then next up, you want to make sure you finish your opponent with an uppercut, which again is down triangle or down Y, and make sure you hold the respective button you do that uppercut with, which would be Y or triangle. So hold that, do your uppercut, and do not block on the final round. Let's do it. Oof. Easy enough, everybody. It's the Classic. If you've seen my first 2 tutorials, you've already seen this one. Just keep in mind, I like to cover it, so if people want to look for a particular character, they can look just that brutality tutorial up, and then find exactly what they need. On to our next brutality. Alright folks, so next up is the $500 sunglasses brutality. Now you want to make sure that you have the throwing shades ability in your arsenal if you want to perform this brutality. Next up are the requirements, and they are relatively simple. You simply want to, of course, again, make sure you have the throwing shades move, and then use that move to finish your opponent from what they call a great distance. And I'll show you what I have dubbed a great distance in our little demonstration right now. Alright everybody, so first up is the throwing shades move, and to actually do that is down down Y or down down triangle, and it should look something like this. Boom. Easy enough. Now, next up they say you have to be at a great distance, and a lot of people would assume this means you want to be all the way across the screen. However, as you can see, this is not possible. The move does not actually go that far. I would say it's more of a medium length move in regards to moving across the screen space. So that means you as a player have to be at about medium length, and to me that's usually best gauged by getting right up against your opponent when you can move them like so. And then you want to do a back jump, and then one back dash, like so. And then let's see if we should do the sunglasses one more time. Pop. There we go. So, to me, that's about the greatest distance, because if we go any further, I want to say, I don't think it hits anymore. So we'll do one more back dash, and we'll take a single step away like so. And as you can see, it misses. It's doesn't even hit, just in that tiny little backstep. So it's very specific, this brutality. You want to make sure you are at the maximum length without being too far away. And again, this is one of those brutalities that is probably easier said than done, because in the middle of a battle, obviously your opponent is not going to be standing still, which is going to make it harder to gauge exactly when you might be able to hit with this move. But one more time, you want to be touching your opponent, do a backdash, or rather do a back jump like so, and then a backdash. And boom, you can hit them with the glasses from about that distance. Again, you go any farther than that, and it just does not work. So try and get that little maximum distance with the back jump and one back dash. Alright, you guys, here we are going in for our final hit, which one more time has to be done with the throwing shades move, which is down, down, Y, or down, down, triangle, from what they call a great distance, which I consider about medium length. So touching your opponent, one jump away, one back dash, and to me, that is a great distance. Now again, finish your opponent from a great distance with throwing shades, which is down, down, Y, or down, down, triangle, and it should look a little something like this.
Brutality. No!
This one's great.
Game over, man.
I love the little gesture they make at each other when the glasses fly on, and then I love how the head just explodes from too much fashion. The beauty of Johnny's glasses are just too much to handle, I guess. So, bye bye Dooooor. On to the next brutality, you guys. Alright folks, so next up we have the Say Uncle brutality, and this one actually is going to require you to have two different moves in your arsenal, and that is the Brass Knuckles ability and the Pissed Off ability, which you can see hopefully right above here. And again, make sure you have both of these in your variation if you plan to perform this particular brutality. Now, the actual requirements for this particular brutality are that you must activate the Brass Knuckles ability, and while that is active, you want to finish your opponent with the Pissed Off move. So I'll go ahead and give you guys a demonstration on how to pair these two right now. Alright everybody, so assuming you put Brass Knuckles into your arsenal, you should be able to activate that respective buff, which is down, down, Y, or down, down, triangle, and Johnny should do just that. You'll get some glowing hands, and you'll see his Brass Knuckles are ready to rock. Good to go. Next up, we want to use the Pissed Off ability, which is down, back, forward, X, or down, back, forward, square on your respective controller, and it should look something like this. Easy enough, you guys, and just keep in mind you have to move pretty quick for this move, so if you happen to be getting things like this, punches, instead, while you're going for that move, it just means you're not moving quick enough, you're not putting the input in the appropriate sequence quick enough. So just keep that in mind and keep that practice up if this particular move is a little bit harder for you to get. I always have trouble with these 3 input moves sometimes, but once you get used to them, as you can see, easy enough. Alright folks, here we are going in for our finishing hit. One more time, you want to make sure you activate Brass Knuckles, which is down, down, Y, or down, down, triangle, like so, and then you want to finish off the opponent while those knuckles are active with down, back, forward, X, or down, back, forward, square to do the Pissed Off ability. So here we go. Brass Knuckles on, Pissed Off activating. Oof. Just to add a little insult to injury, I guess. It would have been bad enough just to beat the face in, but
Game over, man.
took the whole head off, I guess. On to the next one, you guys. Okay, everybody, so next up we have the No Hollywood Strings Attached brutality. Now, this particular brutality requires you to perform 2 different combos at some point during the match. They do not have to be in particular order, just so long as you have performed them at some point during round 1, 2, or 3. Whenever you go for that brutality, as long as you've done them beforehand, you should be able to do this brutality. And those 2 combos are Bad Scripts and the No Autographs combo. And then after you have completed those, when you go to finish your opponent, you want to make sure the final hit comes from the Director's Cut combo. So let's go ahead and give you guys a demonstration. Now we'll start off with the Bad Scripts combo, and that is Y, BB, and then up B, or triangle, circle, circle, up circle. And it should look something like this. Boom. Easy enough, you guys. Next up, we have the No Autographs combo, and that is back A and then B, or back X and then circle, and it should look something like this. Easy enough, you guys. Very simple. Now last up is the actual combination we're going to use to finish the opponent for this brutality, and that is Director's Cut, which is forward A and then BB, or forward X and then circle circle, and it should look something like this. Easy enough, you guys. So that is all. Let's go ahead and finish our opponent. Alright folks, here we are going in for the finishing hit. Just remember that at some point between round 1, 2, and 3, you have to hit your opponent with the bad scripts and the no autographs combo, and then you want to finish your opponent with the Director's Cut combo, which again is forward A and then BB, or forward X and then circle circle. Let's go for it, you guys.
Finish her.
Sign on my hand,
Brutality.
pen in your eye. And do note, as you guys saw, we did go into the finish him menu. Do not panic. As long as you've input the proper combo, as you can see, it will take you through and you will properly get this brutality. On to the next one, you guys. Okay, folks, so next up we have the Do My Own Stunts brutality. Now, this one is probably on the easier side of things, and in reality, all you have to do are land 3 flippy kicks during the match, and do keep in mind, land means they have to hit, they can't be blocked, and then the final hit must come from a flippy kick. So, easy enough. Let's give you guys a quick demonstration. Now, the flippy kick is down back A or down back X, and it should look something like this. Boom, easy enough. And we need to actually get 3 of those at some point during the match. So that was 1, there's 2, and there's 3. And do keep in mind, these do not have to be in a row. We're just doing those for demonstration purposes. They just have to be at any point between rounds 1, 2, or 3 before you get the actual brutality. Just to clarify, they do say you need to get 3 flippy kicks before you go for that brutality, and that has to be before you go for the final hit. You cannot make the 3rd flippy kick also the brutality hit. You need to make it the 4th hit or any hit after you have gotten the 3 original flippy kicks. And when they say that they must land, it means the opponent has to be hit like so, and they cannot be hit like so. If it's blocked like that, it is not counting as a landed hit. Just keep that in mind. That doesn't count as opposed to that right there. Alright folks, here we are going in for our final hit. Make sure you have landed at least 3 flippy kicks before you go in for this brutality. And after you have done that, we are going to finish the opponent with 1 final flippy kick, which is down back A or down back X. And it should look a little something just like this.
Brutality.
Plop. I love this one. This is a really good one. Especially, I don't know, that the flippy kick is very, it's very popular among Johnny's well-known moves, so I love how they were able to really turn it into something a little bit extra in the long run. So if you like a little bit of messiness when it comes to finishing your opponent with a little bit of style and flair added, this is definitely a very good one. On to the next one, you guys. Alright everybody, so next up is the award goes to, and this brutality will require that you have the Say Cheese move in your arsenal, so please do make sure you have that if you want to perform this particular brutality. Now the actual requirements for this brutality are as follows, and you want to make sure that you stun the opponent with the Say Cheese ability, and while they're stunned, you want to finish them with a forward throw. Now while that actual animation is playing out with the forward throw, you also have to mash X and Y rapidly or square and triangle rapidly to make sure this brutality works. Now I know it sounds a little complicated, and to an extent it may be, but we'll go ahead and show you guys a quick demonstration that should hopefully make it a lot easier to perform for yourselves. Alright, so let's start off with our stunning move, and that is Say Cheese, which is back down A or back down X, and it should look something like this. Boom, easy enough. And do note, this does do damage, so don't accidentally kill your opponent should you plan to use this for the brutality. Next up is our throw, and of course there are 2 ways you can do a throw, which is either L1 or left bumper, or you can push square and X at the same time on PlayStation, or X and A on the Xbox, and you should get a throw like so. However, do note this is a back throw, and we need a forward throw, or a towards throw as they call it. I call them forward throws. Close enough, and the main difference is that you're really just moving towards your opponent while you're doing a throw, and if you're holding that forward button while you do the throw, you don't actually have to be walking, but so long as you are holding forward at when you go in for that throw, like so, Easy enough. As you can see, I can be right next to the opponent and do a quick one without actually walking. As long as you push forward when you push the throw button, like so, you're good to go. Now, just a little tip, they do say we have to push X and Y or square and triangle rapidly while the final throw is happening. And as you guys can see, I'm on my PlayStation controller here. I like to take these two fingers, my pointer and my middle finger, and I will usually put them on the square and triangle buttons, or X and Y, depending on your controller again, and I will mash them very quickly like so. So I'll be doing my normal gameplay. I'll go for that throw animation, and once the throw activates, I take my hand off the controller, and I quickly just move it up there to mash those buttons. And that way, I usually guarantee that any of the brutalities that want you to mash the buttons to finish usually always work. They usually always work like that. Alright folks, here we are going in for our final hit. One more reminder that you want to stun the opponent with the Say Cheese ability, which is back down A or back down X. And once that is activated, once that opponent is stunned, finish them with a towards or a forwards throw. During that animation, you then need to mash square and triangle or X and Y on your respective controller. So one more time, stun them, forward throw, mash X and Y or square and triangle. Easy enough. Let's go for it, you guys. Say cheese, forward throw, mash the buttons. Boom, boom, and we're mashing. And there we go, you guys. Boom, boom, boom.
Brutality.
Well, someone got an award tonight, and it wasn't Johnny.
Johnny Cage wins.
Beautiful. Alright, you guys.
Victory.
On to our next brutality. Alright everybody, so next up we have the mic check brutality. Now this one will actually require that you hit your opponent with 3 throws between rounds 1, 2, and 3. Now after you have done that, you want to finish your opponent with one more throw, a back throw, and while that is happening, you want to hold the left button or the L1 button on your respective controller. Do note that when it says you have to hit with 3 throws, these do not all have to be back throws like the final hit itself. This just means that you need to hit with either 3 forward throws, 3 back throws, or a combination of the two. Alright you guys, so much like the last brutality, we're going to be focusing on a throw here, except this time it's going to be a back throw. So if you just use the L1 button or the left bumper on its own without pushing any direction, you naturally will get a back throw like so. Easy enough. Now just keep in mind, should you be pushing forward, again you're going to get a forward throw, and that is incorrect. We don't want a forward throw, we want a back throw, just like this. And do note, that's 3 throws right there alone, so that meets our criteria for this brutality. Easy enough. Back throws, forward throws, it does not matter so long as you do 3 throws before actually going for the final throw to do the brutality with. For the record, players who use square and X or who might use X and A also can just use those buttons by themselves. Boom. And as you can see, back throw all the same. So long as you don't direct Johnny, Johnny's not going to go any other direction than back with his throws. Alright folks, so here we are going in for our final hit. One more time, make sure you have hit the opponent with at least 3 throws before going in for this final throw, and then make sure you're holding left button or L1 during the final hit. So here we go. We're going to finish the opponent with a back throw, hold L1, and there we have it, you guys. Easy enough. Going for the throw, holding that beautiful button. Boom.
Brutality.
Swat.
And see.
That's brutal as hell. Impaled on a mic. It's so comedic though. It's such a funny one. I gotta say, I really do think Johnny Cage has probably got the most high-tier brutalities in this game. They're just all so unique. They're so specialized to mimic his personality. I really love them. But on to the next one, you guys. Alright folks, next up we have the At the Door brutality. Now this one will require that you have mime time in your arsenal, so do make sure that this move is in your variation should you want to perform this particular brutality. In regards to the actual requirements, you simply need to hit your opponent with 3 mime times during the match, and then you want to make sure that the final hit itself comes from yet another mime time. So let's go ahead and give you guys an example of how to do this. Alright, you guys, so Mime Time itself is actually a parry move, which means in order for this brutality to work, the opponent will have to hit us at least 3 times while we're parrying. Now, Mime Time itself should be down back X or down back square, should it be in your arsenal, and Johnny will do a little something like this. Easy enough, a little bit of a ninja mime action, like so. Now, what we need is the opponent to, again, hit us while we're doing our parry. So we're going to get up close here, we'll do our parry like so. And boom, if the opponent hits us, you will get that animation instead. So we need 3 of those. So again, we'll parry, boom. Easy enough, you guys. Parry, boom. And there we have it. We have all 3 of our Mime Time combos, or rather our Mime Time parries. And by doing that, we can now get this brutality to work by doing 1 more Mime Time to finish the opponent. Let's go ahead and show you guys that now. So here we are going in for the last hit. One more reminder, make sure that you have parried at least 3 times using Mime Time leading up to your final hit, and then one last time you need to get a 4th Mime Time to finish the opponent with. So here we go, you guys. We're going to block 1 more Mime Time, and let's finish our opponent. It's so good. It's so good. I love it. I mean, it's just so creative and funny the way that they're able to take so many different pieces of his personality and make brutalities out of him. So there we have it, you guys. If you're looking to do a invisible massacre of your opponent to some extent, this is the brutality for you. Okay, everybody, so our last brutality for today, this is Team Cage, and in order to perform this one, you want to make sure that you have the stunt double move in your variation. Should look something like this. Make sure you have this if you want to perform this particular brutality. Next up are the requirements, which are 2 pretty straightforward things. We simply need to perform a mercy at some point during the match, and then after that, we want to finish the opponent with a stunt double hit. Let's go ahead and give you guys a quick demonstration of both of these things. Alright, you guys, so first up we want to do the stunt double move. Now this is down back B or down back circle, and it should look a little something like this. Pop. Easy enough. As you'd expect, a stunt double comes in, whacks the opponent. Very good. Now, something to note, however, is that there is a kind of startup to this move that leaves you vulnerable, so you do want to make sure that your opponent is not going to either move away from the actual hit or worse, come in and beat you down. To kind of get around this, what I like to do is maybe string the opponent in a small combo, try to move them away, and as soon as they're in the air moving away from me, you kind of activate the stunt double. So just a quick example of that might be move him away like that, call him the double, and boom, there he is. So it's not a perfect example, and of course if you're up against higher skilled opponents, they may easily get away from that, but that's just something I personally like to do. Always pay attention to where your opponent is and see if they may either fall into this on their own or really just try and manipulate the battlefield to get them to run into that. Alright folks, so next up is our Mercy. Now, a Mercy is a returning feature from, I believe, Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 that essentially allows you to give your opponent a portion of their health back after you have beat them to the finish him screen. Now, the point of this can either be to beat your opponent further, maybe to show off a little, but in this particular case, the point is that it is the only way we can activate this brutality. So, a Mercy itself has to be performed from about medium distance, and I would call medium about touching the opponent, 1 jump away, and then maybe 1 backdash. That's usually about medium. About this point to me, that's about medium distance. And then to actually activate the Mercy, you have to be medium distance, and then you want to push the flip stance button, which is L2 or left trigger. And Johnny should do something like that, but you want to make sure you hold it. Flip it, and then hold it. So while you're holding it, then you want to push down, 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 like so, but 3 times quick. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. It has to be quick. So 1 more time. Get about medium distance from the opponent. Hold the trigger. 1, 2, 3. Let go. So we'll do it 1 more time. Back. Trigger. Down, down, down. Let go. Easy enough, you guys. We're going to knock the opponent up in the air.
Finish her.
Like so. Right next to them. Jump away. 1 step away. Stance, down, 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 let go. Easy enough, you guys. It's not too hard. It just takes a little practice, and you guys will have that down easily. So now that we've got the opponent into our Mercy stage, you cannot do another Mercy, so just make sure you don't mess this up. But Now that they have had the mercy performed on them, they are ready to be finished by our final move, which is going to be the stunt double, which again is down back B or down back circle, and that brutality should look a little something like this.
Brutality.
I love the little swat of the head there.
Johnny Cage.
It's just that extra little Johnny cockiness in there.
Win.
Alright folks, so one more time, thank you guys very much for watching today. Again, I hope you enjoyed these tutorials. They're a lot of fun to make, and they seem to be helping a lot of you guys, and I really appreciate the feedback. So, should you be enjoying these, feel free to let me know down below in the form of either a like or a comment, and if you have any feedback, definitely let me know. Should you want to see more stuff like this in the future, also feel free to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can find out exactly when more videos and tutorials like this go live. Should there be any characters you guys would like to see that don't have a tutorial yet, feel free to let me know down below, as I'm doing my best to cover every character, but I try and do them in order of request, so we'll see how that goes. Once again, you guys, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it, and hopefully we'll see you next time. As always, stay safe and stay happy. Adios.